Hi, I'm Heather McLean, editor at SVG Europe. I'm here today with Mobile Viewpoint. I've got Michel Bais, CEO, and Mark Andrews, Global Sales Manager. Hi, guys.
Hey, Heather.
Hey. Okay, so talk to me first about artificial intelligence. So what's the value of AI at Mobile Viewpoint, and why have you branched over into this area from streaming services?
Okay, that's a good question. So as a company, we've been around since what, 2008, 2009, Michel?
Yeah, 2008 we started, and 2010 we really became an independent company, actually.
Okay, so in that time, we've been leaders and innovators in live streaming solutions. So this is bonded encoders for outside broadcast, and basically this is the ability to live stream using H.264, H.265 technology over the multiple 4G networks. But as a company, we need to continually innovate. And what we're seeing, obviously, with the advance of 5G is actually we think as a market, it's maturing. And the issue is, of course, with 5G is that people perhaps need 4G less and less. So as a company, we need to innovate and look at other technology. I think when you look at AI, it's certainly become sort of almost ubiquitous in many of the broadcast technologies. It's not just us talking about AI, but certainly a lot of other companies are as well. But we've sort of taken our broadcast experience, especially in the OB world, and we've created two new AI platforms, which we could talk about today. One is vPilot, and in fact, this whole webinar is being driven by our own vPilot studio. So vPilot is an automated studio production system. So there's no camera people, there's no director. It's all driven by AI. So AI providing the intelligence behind the shots and everything, and as you can see, the shots are moving as if there's a director present, but there's not. And then we have another AI product as well, which is IQ-SP, SP standing for sports production. So this again is, again, no camera people, no director, and it's actually a camera, and I have a camera here I can show. So this is the X-Cam, we call it, which is a camera we've developed ourselves, which we're using with AI technology. But the whole idea is this camera sits above the field of play, maybe overlooking a football field, but it can support many different types of sports. And we have four 4K cameras, and it's creating a panoramic view of the whole of the field of play. And then using AI technology, it's actually tracking the sports and the football player. So again, we don't need the people on the ground with a camera crew. But just to put that in context, in both these technologies, we're not trying to replace camera people. It's really very much complementary to what people are doing today. So for example, with IQ-SP, for example, the tier 2 football matches or the women's sports, the under 21s training, where they don't have the resource or the budget for a complete camera production crew, now they can start using AI technology to make very low cost and very professional looking productions.
And on IQ Sports Producer, if we were at NAB this month, obviously we would have had announcements and things like that. I believe you had some sort of enhancements to this product. Can you tell me about those?
Yes.
Yes. Now, the camera Mark just showed to you is actually in our 60 frames camera. So most of those commercial panoramic cameras have the problem they are maximum 30 hertz. They made, of course, for security most time. But of course, if you want to go to TV, and as our members of SVG are most time TV producers, they need, of course, a full frame system, so 50, 60 frames per second. So we made our own 50, 60 frames camera now. And actually, we enhanced the AI even more, that together with having a better video quality, you also can now do automatic game, start detection, goal detection. You can OCR the scoreboard. So you can now schedule fully automatically all matches you want to do in the whole weekend, for example, and the system automatically produces those one after the other. So it's fully more automated and really focusing on complete leagues. We're working together now with a company in Norway, a newspaper, actually, A Media, who actually has the rights for the second, third, and fourth league over there. And they want to do this completely automatic together with us.
Great, cool. And is that new functionality available now?
Yeah, that's available now. Yeah, the plan was to demonstrate it at NAB for the first time, that we could do a fully, completely automated highlight-enabled production. But we do it now a little bit online with produced content in the past. But yeah, that's actually available now. And yeah, we hope that, of course, this whole Corona stuff goes away quite quickly. So we can at least start doing football matches and other sport matches again but then without public, most probably, but of course with production people.
Cool.
I think one thing I would probably add is obviously with the AI technology, it's fairly, though we've got customers using it, it's fairly at the beginning of its product life cycle. So we have a whole list of roadmap requests that people are asking for. But as a company, we're based here in the Netherlands. We're doing all our development and builds here in the Netherlands. So as a company, we've always had this sort of very flexible approach for working with our customers. So we're not like a faceless corporate, in other words. If you've got particular feature functionality you want to see, then hey, guess what? That makes it into our product roadmap.
Cool. And what is on the product roadmap for IQ Sports Producer?
What's coming, Michel?
Now, of course, I said that we now introduce actually more automating, and of course, what we are now going to make is also adding the more camera setup. So we already showed that in a previous live with the security camera. We're now going to, with our own camera, do multiple cameras behind the goal. So we can switch automatically between different panoramic cameras situated behind the goal and the 60-meter line to do actually a multi-camera production. I said, of course, most productions are from the single camera in the middle always, but those extra shots, which fill about 10% of the whole broadcast time, make it really more interesting. That's what we're going to add now.
Great.
And the other thing we also get asked for is obviously different types of sports. So at the moment, we're obviously supporting football, rugby, ice hockey, futsal, and a few others. But we've also been asked for horse jumping, water polo, and a few other things. And obviously, we have to train the AI to understand, the different sports as well. So that's part of our roadmap as well, is to add more sports as well.
Yeah, we work quite a lot with our National Olympic Committee, quite a lot, because they want to have, with the Olympics, that doesn't go through this year, of course, to have our camera to every pitch where there was a match played for analytics back home. So they could send their own feedback home for analytic guys to do training proposals and to coach them remotely, actually.
Great. And finally, what else are we likely to see coming out from Mobile Viewpoint over the next 6 months, and why will this be of interest to the sports broadcast community?
Yeah, what we're also going to introduce is, of course, also a new family of WMTs. It also, now we have a lot of experience with AI today with our IQ solutions and our studio. We're also going to integrate that in the WMT. So the WMT is actually able to recognize you, header. So if you're standing in front of the camera, we can automatically do a metadata for header is talking. And also in the background, we see a skeleton, for example. So that later on, you can go to your content and then automatically find specific stuff.
Cool. Sounds exciting to find me and some skeletons.
Sure. I mean, we've got quite a rich roadmap going forward. I don't know if it's interesting, but I can actually show, we have the V-Pilot on display, and we touched on it a little bit, but we have a camera here, so I can show behind the scenes of what the cameras look like. Would that be interesting, Heather?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So we got this camera here. So this is just an external camera. So we have Michel there. Now, I'm not a cameraman. I am not talent. But what we are facing here, we have a picture of you, Heather, there. So we're just looking at your monitor. But above are the cameras. So this is the V-Pilot studio. So we actually have 4 Panasonic cameras here. And you can see above them are the sensors. So it's the sensors that we're using in conjunction with the AI technology to determine where we are. And then using our voice as well, it can then determine which shots to provide. And it comes complete with tully lights. There's little red dots on top of the cameras as well, so we know which camera to talk to. And then obviously what you wouldn't normally show behind the scenes is all the gum on the floor. Oh, we lost the camera.
Great.
Oh, there's me as well.
All right.
I was going to quickly show the server, but that's okay. But yeah, so that's the V-Pilot. Yeah, so I thought that might be interesting to see behind the scenes. And like we say, we're using our own technology, so yeah, the proof is definitely in the pudding.
Yeah. Behind the scenes is always exciting.
Yes. That was my point for sports broadcasts as well, especially where a lot of people in a small room, given Corona at the moment, where they don't want too many people. Me and Michelle are doing our social distancing here, keeping 1.5 meters apart, but not a cameraman, not a director in sight here.
Good. Sometimes it's good to be alone, huh?
Yes.
All right, guys, thank you very much for your time.
Heather, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.